All right. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I wanted to come on and speak to you very briefly about growing up. We all have to grow up. Sometimes we don't want to, but we got to grow up. I was at a competition yesterday that my granddaughter had. It was one of those cheer competitions. And I was sitting there and happened to engage in a conversation with a gentleman who it was his daughter was there, him and his wife's daughter, and I'm sitting there, and my daughter had went to the car just to get some rest because this got to be pretty long. And we were looking at the kids perform and stuff like that. And so one of the little girls, she got upset. And this was prior to another one that ended up really taking things to another level because parents and whoever was involved went out there on the match where the kids are. But the one prior to that shouted something out to another little girl. And then another lady came up, and that must have been her mother, and she said a few words, and they kind of calmed that down because they had security there. That happened very quickly, more quickly than the last one. But he said to me, this is why these kids can't grow up. They're not learning respect. They can't grow up when they see us as adults act a certain way, out of character that we should be. And you should never take up for your kids in their wrong. Because if you do, they'll never grow up. Or in their growing, I heard my daughter say something that really stuck with me. She said, because she came in on the second incident, and all these adults started rushing down to the floor, and everybody had something to say, and it was crazy. And she said, Mama, that little girl gonna be at home forever. She gonna be at home forever. Because her mom really went left. See, we think we hurting these kids. We really think we helping these kids when we protect them in their wrong. See, she'll never leave home. Some of you are wondering right now why you still stuck with 50-year-old kids in your house. You didn't let them grow up. You still want to treat them like babies. They are every day growing. My granddaughter just turned 13 years old. I got to treat her like she's 13. I can no longer treat her like she's 2, 3, 4, 5 years old. That is with all of us. So where's this leading to? What I'm saying to you this morning, God is trying to grow us up. We cannot stay where we are when God is trying to grow us up. We got to be obedient to what he is showing us, the direction he is taking us in. We got to grow up. Some of us are so afraid of growing up. That's why as our kids get older, we still trying to do things that they now doing. You know how you still trying to go to the nightclub and your kids are meeting you at the door at the nightclub? Y'all in there partying together. You know what I mean? Like people do what they want to in their life. But that child will see you in whatever light that you operate in with that child. You got to grow up. I heard my uncle say years ago, when my children started going in the clubs, I came out. That stuck with me. I've never been a club person. I don't even see what the big deal is, but there's people that like it. And I don't knock that. I don't. But there's come a point when you got to grow up. You got to say enough of that. Enough of that. You got to hold people accountable. I'm talking about in our own lives. I'm talking about with our family. I'm talking with our children, our grandchildren, whoever they are. You cannot rush to the floor of any platform in life and always think that just because it's your child, we are God's children, and he corrects us. Oh, yes, he does. He corrects us. Don't you know we should do the same with ours? We don't ask them where they're going. And sex trafficking is just escalating. If you're going to let them on social media, watch them. That's another thing the gentleman said. His wife worked in the college system like me. And I said, you know, what is happening right in front of our faces, that so much is going on with the little girls now, because it seems as though there's a target on them. And he said, I can tell you, and I told my wife this, many of these kids, they're just raising themselves. See, those are the kids that got to grow up before their time. Because they raising themselves. The oldest one is trying to take care of the younger kids. He or she might be 9 or 10 themselves, but they're taking care of the 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. You understand what I'm saying? That is a child that has to grow up before their time. But then you got the children on the other side that's not growing at all, because in the home, anything they do is accepted. If you never tell a child they're wrong, even adult, they're going to do what they're accustomed to doing. And that's not growing up. Because in their minds, in their hearts, they know whatever I do, I will not be held accountable. I will not be held accountable. See, so here we go, putting ourselves in the same space that our children are in. You got to grow up. You got to grow up so that they can grow up. Do you think over in Jeremiah that God would have told us in his word, I have plans for you. I have plans to prosper you. Do you think God would have said that and it just would have been just something he said? Because he don't just say anything. See, we the ones, we just say anything. We just say anything. Don't pray about it. Don't ask God about it. Don't meditate on it. Don't do nothing. Don't listen to his voice. Just say whatever we want to say. Some of us do it because we're at a comfortable status in life. And let me tell you about that. That changes too. You're not going to always have what you had in the past. I'm talking about monetary. But you should gain wisdom. You should gain wisdom in life. As you get older, you're supposed to be growing up. Not trying to be your children. Not trying to gain wisdom. I see it every day. Every day. People, we got to grow up. We got to start putting the first thing first. If you have grandchildren, if you have children, you got to be okay with correcting them. You don't go rush out on a platform and these children looking at you. They looking at you. And in their minds and in their hearts, you are telling them that that's the way they're supposed to act. That when a decision isn't made in their favor, they lash out. See, some of y'all adults are doing that today. Something not in your favor, so you lash out. So you make things up against people. So you do ugly stuff to people. And you don't even know them people. None of us know, and I said this yesterday, none of us know what's going on in somebody else's life. So we prejudge. We prejudge. But you don't know where God taking you. I have become a new creator on TikTok. And I'm telling you, I have posted something. Well, they say created something, a newsreel. And guess what? I wake up the next morning, I got almost 3,000 people who have viewed that, who have made comments, almost 80 something people. And God is growing me up. God is giving me new things and new opportunities and opening up new doors for me because I'm letting him. I'm allowing him to do that in my life. And you should too. And I was telling my daughter, I'm new at this. I got to learn how to work different things on that site. I got to do that. But I'm proud of me because God is allowing me to become a new creator on a new app to me. I know TikTok's been out there, but I didn't really know how to operate it until I started working on the campaign with Reverend King. See, God, he built things out of situations. He was growing me up as well. I knew how to get on TikTok, but I did not know how to get to that part of becoming a creator of news. So now I'm going to have to put in time on that. And I spent the weekend just working on how do I do this? How do I do that? What is it? How do they make that work? And I'm seeing that you get a lot of information on that, and you have to say things. But you also, when you say things, you also need to have news clippings, which is your source of providing information. So that people, when they're looking at your information, they can say, oh, that's where she got that from. Because you become like a news broadcaster. But you control your own information. See, that was God growing me up, and I didn't even know it. It's a lot of things came out of working on the campaign with Pastor King. A lot came out of that for me. I was able to work towards a strong man, a man of integrity. You know, it's things that I gained, like a powerhouse. This man is a powerhouse. And God say, in that, you're going to learn some stuff. Because you're passionate about anything that I give you. You're passionate about it. My daughter tell me that all the time. Mom, you so passionate about people and communication and information. I see how you love that stuff. And I do. Because information is power. It's power. It keeps us connected. I'm not going to be on here long this morning, but that weighed heavy on my heart. Grow up. God got so much he want to do with you, but he can't do it because you won't let him grow you up. You want to stay where you was 10 years ago, 5 years ago. And things might not look like you think they ought to look, but God is still growing you. Just listen to him. Sometimes he gives you things drop by drop, but he's still giving them to you. You don't know what's going to come out of what God is doing in your life. Never doubt him. Just trust him. I didn't say it. He did. When he said in his word that I have plans for you. I have plans to prosper you. In other words, I have plans to grow you. I have plans to grow you up. But you got to allow him to do that. Or you're going to be just like some of those little girls I saw on yesterday. Because things didn't land in their favor. You don't want to go and shake the hand of the opposite team. You want to start screaming and hollering. You want to say bad words. Come on now. See, if I was that parent, that wouldn't have happened like that. Because if it would have, I would have got her right there where she done it. Instead of everybody rushing down there. And a lot of people left. I'm talking left. Because that shows what not growing up looks like. For the adults that went down there and joined in that foolishness, as well as that child. Grow up, people. A lot of us, we think we cutting up because we can quote a few scriptures. We can sing a few songs. We can do whatever we do. God said you still haven't grown. You just swole. You sitting in my house swelling. See, when you sit in God's house just swelling, you're not growing because you still handle things in God's house the way you was handling back in 1950. You still handling that way. God said, y'all just sitting here, you're just swelling. You're not growing. And that is the same with us in life. When we're not doing things decent and in order, in respect and reverence to God, you just swelling. And people see you because they know that side when you are not in a certain setting, acting a certain way. Anybody can act good for 50 minutes, an hour or two. But you got to be consistent in that. You must be consistent in your actions. Because otherwise you're not growing. You just swelling. You get mad because somebody got something you don't have. You don't know how them people paying that car note. You don't know how them people paying that house note. You don't know how them people living lavishly like they living. All you doing, you just looking at, and it is not really your business. So you go put yourself in debt because you trying to be like somebody else. You got to grow up. I say this time and time again. I don't care what somebody else got. They got what they can afford. I got what I can afford. You jealous of somebody else's bills. Come on, people. See, that shows you haven't grown yet. You have not, you got to grow up. All of us. You can't handle situations like you handled them when you were younger. Today, I cannot handle situations or react to my daughter or my grandkids like I did when I was 10. I had to grow up. And this is why we grow, so that we can show them how to be better people. How to be better people. We get mad at people, upset with someone, and we will go and spread the biggest lies. Or we'll do something that we feel is hurtful to them. And you don't have a clue why that person is doing what they're doing. Maybe I'm just quiet because I got some things going on. Maybe I've pulled back because I'm trying to deal with finances in my life. Or I'm trying to deal with a medical diagnosis. Or I'm trying to deal with a wayward child. You know, I'm trying to deal with some losses. Maybe that's why, but you don't know, because all you know is what you people put out there in front of you. And many people are just masking because they got a whole lot more going on than what you know. We put on our best faces in the public. That's not the real face. Some people got their best face out there and then go home and just break down. You don't know that. Some people are functioning the best way they can. But see, when God grows you up, you don't take all your sorrow and pains and dump them on everybody. You pull yourself together and you get out there and do what you got to do. And that's that. That's that. That's how life works. You pull yourself together and get out there and do what you got to do. That's called growing up. Now, if God wants that for you, you should want that for your children. Grow up, people. Life is going to keep going, whether you're in the game or not. Grow up. That's what God is saying to you, and that's what God is saying to me. I need y'all to grow up. All right? Just wanted to share that with you this morning. We're going to have a wonderful day. Hey, it's cold out there, so make sure you bundle up. All right? Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.